got to say, for as uninteresting as the USC football season is, completely the antithesis is the intrigue concerning the coaching situation. And you certainly do an outstanding job giving us the updated spin on the previous weekend's results and certainly the talk out there and how it may impact the final decision here at USC.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a static, set-in-stone coaching search. It never has been. I mean, the one general constant has been that, James Franklin and Luke Fickell have been the top two names. I mean, that's just on a very broad and general level. That's been a constant. But all the specific week-to-week details have changed because a week ago, when it was announced that James Franklin had brought aboard Jimmy Sexton as his agent, well, of course, that points to the SEC, given Sexton's dominance of that conference. Also, the SEC is able to win bidding wars against schools from other teams outside the SEC. So, if there was a bidding war for James Franklin, LSU was in position to win that over USC. But so that was a week ago. But now the new plot twist is, Mel Tucker of Michigan State beating Jim Harbaugh and Michigan, staying unbeaten, being fully in the playoff chase in early November with an Ohio State game not too far down the line. And so many people in the industry, people I talk to at LSU, they think Mel Tucker is the leader in the LSU coaching search. And so if Mel Tucker has displaced James Franklin, and I'm inclined to agree that he has, then that puts Franklin now more in play for USC. It seems as though Franklin was sliding to LSU a week ago, but now he's sliding back to USC. So that is kind of the pendulum swing here. Now, I do think that this is still Luke Fickell's job to turn down because Mike Bohn used to work with Fickell at Cincinnati. So if you ask me today, Mark, who's going to get the first crack? Who's going to get the first job offer and the chance to say yes or no? I still think it's Luke Fickell, but he definitely might turn it down. A lot of people in the industry think he wants to stay in the Midwest, either Ohio State, Notre Dame, and those two jobs aren't open. And then if he might leave for Penn State or Michigan State, maybe, but he could just want to stay in Cincinnati, in part because the Bearcats aren't just pursuing a playoff berth, but also because they're going to be in the Big 12 before too long. So there's power conference validation, and Fickell just might stay at Cincinnati. So I do think Fickell's going to get the first choice. That's not a guarantee. It's not a lock or anything like that. But I think he'll get the first offer. And then if he turns it down, then you have James Franklin working his way back into number two. See, when he hired Jimmy Sexton, it seemed as though he might be more on the LSU side of things. But now I think he's more on the USC side of things. And so if Fickell says no, Franklin's going to be in position to say yes. And that's where it's pointing right now. And then, of course, you also have Matt Campbell losing to West Virginia in the Iowa State-West Virginia loss. So if there was a sense a week ago that Matt Campbell was rising above James Franklin, well, the momentum got sapped from that particular pursuit. If Campbell does want the USC job or is strongly considering it, he certainly lost momentum. So every week, Mark, it's really fascinating how quickly the winds of change blow in different directions. And we'll see what the next week brings, and we could be in a very different place 7 days from now. It's really been fascinating.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to question Matt Campbell's capabilities, but at the same time, not a good look when he wins a big game against Oklahoma State. Looks like he's starting to put his season together, a season that had yet to meet expectations, but he still took a major step toward a Big 12 championship game berth. Then he goes on the road against a team that's really been scuffling in West Virginia, and they're not able to put two decent efforts back to back, and they lose as a 7 or 8 point favorite in that one.